Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you work, the money seems to slip through your fingers? Have you ever looked around at others and wondered why fortune appears to fall into their laps while you labor endlessly without reward? Perhaps you have thought to yourself, if only I were born into a different family. If only I had better connections. If only luck would turn in my favor. These questions rise like shadows in the mind, whispering that life is unfair, that money belongs to a chosen few, or that success is won only by grinding effort until the soul grows weary. But pause for a moment. Breathe. For what if these whispers are but illusions cast upon the mind like mirages in the desert? You chase and chase only to find that the waters vanish when you reach them. I remember a season in my own life when I ran upon that very treadmill. I woke each morning with a heart full of duty, drove myself into endless hours of toil, yet found that my gains were like sand slipping through clenched fists. I thought perhaps if I work harder, surely I will be rewarded. But effort piled upon effort, and the scales of life seemed unmoved. Then I thought, perhaps luck will smile on me. I bought into chance, believing that perhaps a sudden windfall or someone else's generosity would open the floodgates of abundance. But luck is a fickle companion. One day it seemed near, the next day it fled. It was in those silent hours when exhaustion had worn me thin that the truth began to whisper to me. Money is not luck. Money is not toil. Money is not privilege handed out by a capricious world. Money is governed by divine law. And when one learns the law, one steps into freedom. Imagine for a moment that you are chasing shadows on a wall. You leap and stretch, but the shadow is always just beyond reach. This is the life of one who believes money is born of chance or endless effort. The shadow cannot be caught because it is not real. It is only a reflection, a distortion. To chase the shadow is to miss the substance. And what is the substance? Divine truth. The world teaches us work harder, climb higher, compete ruthlessly, and then perhaps you will succeed. But have you not seen with your own eyes the man who labors day and night, yet remains poor, while another with seemingly little effort lives in ease and plenty? If money were truly tied to toil alone, this could not be so. If money were mere chance, there would be no pattern, no order, yet those who awaken to divine law often rise steadily, as if carried by unseen currents. But what if I told you? Yes, pause here with me. What if I told you that your relationship with money is not determined by chance, effort, or privilege, but by spiritual alignment? What if I told you that abundance answers to law just as surely as gravity pulls the stone to the earth or the sun rises faithfully each morning? When Florence Scovel Shinn taught her students, she reminded them that life is not a lottery. Life is law. And to live by law is to cease from struggle and step into flow. Think of a musician. One may pound at the piano with all their strength, but unless they strike the right keys in harmony, no music is made. Another, with a light touch and an ear attuned to rhythm, fills the room with beauty. Effort without law is noise. Effort aligned with law is symphony. So too it is with money. The world pounds the keys of effort, sweating and striving, while the awakened soul learns to play the melody of divine order, and abundance flows forth in harmony. There was a time when I believed the door to prosperity was locked, and I was forever fumbling for the key. I pushed and strained, believing if only I knocked harder, the door would open. But the door remained shut. Then one day, a teacher whispered, "The key is already within your hand, and the door has never been locked." In that moment, my striving ceased. I realized that the door responds not to force, but to alignment with truth. Dear listener, have you felt the weariness of striving without reward? Have you stood at the door of prosperity, knocking until your knuckles grew sore, only to feel ignored? Let me tell you, your knocking has not gone unheard. But the door does not open to fists of effort. It opens to the word of truth spoken in faith, aligned with divine law. Money is not a cruel master withholding itself for the chosen few. Money is obedient. It follows the pattern set by spirit. Just as the farmer does not scream at the field to yield a harvest, but plants seeds according to season and law, so too must we plant the seeds of abundance according to the divine laws that govern prosperity. The illusion of luck says, maybe you will succeed, maybe you will not. The illusion of effort says, only by wearing yourself thin will you prove yourself worthy. But the truth declares, you are already in divine alignment, and when you speak the word of abundance and faith, money answers. So I ask you now, gently, what shadows have you been chasing? What illusions have you clung to about money, that it is for others, but not for you, that you must trade your health, your joy, your very soul in exchange for it? These illusions can dissolve in a single moment of awakening. For once you see that money is governed by spiritual law, you will never again submit to the tyranny of chance or the slavery of toil. There is a current that carries all who trust it. Step into that current, and money flows without strain. Resist it, and you may labor endlessly, yet find yourself standing still. The choice is always before you chase shadows or awaken to the substance. If these meditations bring you peace, subscribing helps us share more restful content with you. There is a saying that has haunted many hearts: money is the root of all evil. How many lives have been dimmed by those words repeated without understanding? How many have pushed away their divine inheritance, fearing that to accept money would be to accept corruption? Yet pause and listen carefully, for the original scripture does not say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. A distortion of truth has cast a heavy veil upon countless souls. Money itself is not evil. Money is not good. Money is neutral. Money is spiritual substance waiting to take the form you give it. Think of electricity. It is neither moral nor immoral. It can light a home or destroy it. It can power a hospital that saves lives or an engine of war that takes them. The electricity itself does not choose. It obeys the hand that directs it. So it is with money. The world has painted money with false colors. Some fear it, whispering that it corrupts all who touch it. Others worship it, bowing before it as if it were a god that can grant them security. But money is neither a demon nor a deity. Money is a servant, a tool, a flowing river of substance that takes on the direction of the channel you provide. Picture a mighty river. Its waters surge endless and alive, seeking always a course to follow. When it flows through barren land, it creates life, bringing greenery and abundance. When it floods unguarded, it may bring destruction. Yet the river itself is innocent. It does not choose its destiny. It responds to the banks that guide it. So too is money a river of spiritual substance. If you guide it with fear, it becomes destructive, consumed in waste, lost to greed, or hoarded in anxiety. But if you guide it with love, purpose, and alignment, it nourishes, multiplies, and blesses all it touches. Dear one, feel this truth settling into your heart. Money is not a thing to fear. It is not a thing to worship. It is a thing to master by understanding its neutrality and aligning it with divine intention. There was once a woman who came to a teacher trembling with guilt. "I desire money," she confessed, "but I fear that to desire it is sinful." The teacher smiled and asked, "Do you desire to feed your children? Do you desire to clothe the poor? Do you desire to build a life of peace and generosity?" The woman nodded through her tears. "Then know this," said the teacher. "It is not money you desire. It is the expression of good that money as substance may carry into form. Desire aligned with love is holy." Let us dissolve once and for all the false belief that money corrupts. It is not money that corrupts. It is the heart misaligned with truth that misuses money. A knife in the hand of a surgeon heals. The same knife in the hand of a murderer kills. Yet the knife itself remains only a tool. The power rests not in the object, but in the consciousness that wields it. So it is with you. What river are you guiding? What intention directs the flow of your substance? When you see money as neutral spiritual energy, you awaken to your role as its director. You are no longer tossed by fear nor enslaved by greed. You stand as master, commanding it with the authority of divine alignment. Like electricity, money awaits your command. Speak to it as you would to a faithful servant. You are a river of good. You flow where I direct you. You increase under divine law. You bless all you touch, and it will obey. Remember, your consciousness shapes its expression. If you say money is scarce, you dam the river and little flows to you. If you say money comes only with struggle, you twist the current and it carves through your life in toil. But if you say money is neutral, obedient, and abundant, flowing to me in perfect ways, then the river clears and it flows in harmony. Pause now and breathe. Feel the shift within. Money is no longer a shadowy figure looming over your life, demanding fear or worship. It is light, fluid, obedient substance awaiting your word. You are free to command it with love. You are free to guide it with wisdom. Let this affirmation rise within you. Money is neutral. Money is substance. Money is obedient to divine law. I direct it with love, and it flows in abundance to bless me and bless the world. Do you feel the relief, the lightness in seeing money for what it truly is? The burden of guilt lifts. The chains of fear break. The idol of worship crumbles. What remains is truth. Money is neither good nor evil, but a tool, a river, an obedient current of life. If this truth feels like freedom, subscribe so you never miss more teachings. Stay with me, for we are only beginning to open the temple doors of prosperity. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Pause upon those lines, for they are not mere poetry, but eternal law. From the dawn of creation, words have been the seeds of worlds. The heavens themselves were called into being not by hammer and nail, but by the voice that said, "Let there be light," and there was light. If divine speech shapes the cosmos, can you doubt that your speech shapes your life? Can you doubt that your words, whispered or shouted, faithful or fearful, are molding your financial reality even now? Your word is the wand. Have you ever noticed how words once spoken seem to take root in the unseen? A child told she is brilliant grows taller in spirit. A child told she is worthless bends under invisible weight. The words themselves appear fleeting, but they plant seeds that blossom in time. So it is with money. Every phrase you utter about your finances, whether in jest, complaint, or faith is a seed sown into the garden of your life. Think of yourself as a gardener standing in a vast field. Each morning, you scatter seeds with your words. Money is hard to come by. That seed falls into the soil. I'll never get ahead. Another seed is planted. I can't afford it. Yet another root begins its unseen journey. The soil does not question the seed, it simply receives and multiplies. And in time, the field grows exactly what you planted: scarcity, struggle, lack. But oh, beloved soul, imagine what happens when the gardener awakens to his power. Imagine when he speaks instead, money comes easily and joyfully to me. A seed of abundance. I am rich in divine ideas and substance. A seed of prosperity. I always have more than enough to share and to spare. A seed of overflow. And the soil, obedient as always, says, so be it. Pause now. Consider your words of yesterday. What garden did you plant? Was it a field of weeds choking out your joy, or a garden of plenty waving golden in the sunlight? The spoken word is no trivial thing. Florence Scovel. Shin would often tell her students, your word is your wand. For with it, you conjure not tricks or illusions, but the very fabric of your life. When you speak, lack appears. When you speak abundance, abundance is drawn to you as iron is drawn to the magnet. Words are not echoes, they are blueprints. They are not air, they are substance. Every declaration carries vibration, and vibration summons form. You may think you are simply venting when you say, I'm always broke, but the universe takes you at your word and arranges itself to fulfill that decree. Do you remember the Israelites in the wilderness? They murmured, we will die in this desert. And so it was, not because God willed it, but because their own words called it forth. But when Joshua and Caleb declared, we are well able to possess the land, their words became the seed of conquest and inheritance. So it is with you. Your wilderness or your promised land depends not on external conditions, but on the words you choose to speak. Let us be practical here. Consider how often you say things like, I can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Easy come, easy go. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Each phrase is a spell woven unconsciously binding your life to the pattern of lack. And yet by the same law, you may choose to speak words that liberate. Words that open doors. Words that summon wealth like a river rushing to the sea. Say instead, I always have more than enough. Divine substance is ever flowing through me. Money is my obedient servant, and it comes to me in perfect ways. The riches of heaven are mine now. Do you feel the difference? One set of words change you, the other crowns you, and the choice is always yours. Pause, breathe deeply, and repeat softly now. My words are seeds. My words are wands. I speak abundance, and I reap abundance. I speak truth, and truth sets me free. There was once a man who constantly complained of poverty. Every day he sighed, I never have enough. Though opportunities came, though friends tried to help, somehow money always slipped away. Finally, a teacher said to him, your poverty is not in your purse, it is in your tongue. Begin today to say, I always have more than enough, and see what unfolds. Reluctant but desperate, the man began to repeat those words daily, though at first he did not believe them. Within weeks, unexpected checks appeared, debts were settled, and doors opened. What changed? His words changed, and his world followed. For words are living agents. They go forth clothed in vibration and gather to themselves the substance needed to fulfill their mission. Speak of lack, and they gather lack. Speak of abundance, and they gather wealth. Let me remind you, beloved, you are never powerless. Even if your pockets are empty, your tongue is full of seed. Even if the field seems barren, your word can plant a harvest that will surely come. You do not wait for money to appear before you speak abundance. You speak abundance and money appears. Now ask yourself with honesty, what words have I been planting? What spells have I been casting with casual phrases and careless sighs? For every word is a decree, and every decree builds tomorrow's reality. But the good news is this: at any moment, you may change the script. You may uproot weeds and plant wheat. You may take the wand into your hand and speak a new world into being. The past is not master. Your present word holds power to create anew. So I ask you now, what words will you choose from this day forward? What sentences will shape your prosperity? Speak them boldly, for heaven listens and substance obeys. There is a story. I must tell you a story of one sentence, one declaration, one turning point that transformed a life in less than 24 hours. It is not fable nor fantasy, but living testimony to the law that words shape reality. The woman's name was Margaret. She was in her mid-40s, weary from years of struggle, her face lined not with age alone, but with the strain of financial burden. Each morning, she rose before the sun, labored through endless tasks, and fell into bed at night, wondering how she would pay the next bill. She was intelligent, hardworking, and kind, but her life seemed chained to scarcity. Her friends, though sympathetic, often repeated what the world loves to say: "That's just life. Some people have money, others don't. You're just unlucky." Margaret began to believe it. She thought perhaps she had been overlooked by fortune, that her destiny was one of toil, without reward. One evening, after another exhausting day, she sat at her kitchen table, staring at an unopened bill. Tears blurred the numbers. She whispered, "I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of fighting." It was then she remembered a small book she had been given months earlier, a worn little volume of teachings about divine law. She had dismissed it at first, thinking, "Nice words, but they won't pay my rent." Yet in that moment of despair, she reached for it, desperate for any thread of hope. She opened it at random, and her eyes fell upon a sentence: "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." Something stirred. She read it again slowly. The words seemed to glow on the page. She whispered them aloud. "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." At first, her mind rebelled. "That's not true. I don't have wonderful work. I barely have enough to survive." But another voice within her said, "Speak it anyway. Plant the seed." So she repeated it, again and again, like a mantra in the night. Each time she spoke it, she felt a flicker of light, as though the words were chiseling through the heavy stone of doubt. At last, exhausted, she fell asleep with the sentence still on her lips. The next morning, her phone rang. It was a woman she had met months before at a community event, someone she hardly remembered. "Margaret," the voice said, "I don't know if you're interested, but we have an opening at our firm. It's part of a new project. Great pay, flexible hours, and I thought of you. Would you like to interview today?" Margaret's heart raced. She almost said, "I'm not qualified," her old habit of speaking limitation rising again. But she caught herself. She remembered the words she had spoken through the night: "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." She steadied her voice and said, "Yes, I would love to interview." By afternoon, she was sitting across from the hiring manager. The conversation flowed with ease. They told her the job involved coordinating projects, something she had done in various forms all her life. The pay was nearly double her current income. The hours would allow her time with her family, and the work itself aligned with her skills in a way that felt, yes, wonderful. She left the office in awe. That very evening, the firm called to offer her the position. Within 24 hours of speaking that single sentence in faith, her life had turned. Now pause here with me. Was this magic? Was it coincidence? No, it was law. For when Margaret spoke that declaration, she aligned her words with divine truth. She ceased scattering seeds of lack and planted a seed of abundance. The universe, always obedient, rearranged itself to fulfill her decree. The job was already waiting. The opportunity already existed, but it could not reach her until she shifted her vibration with her words. Consider this deeply. How many opportunities circle around you even now, unseen, because your words repel them? How many doors stand ready to open, but your declaration of, "I can't," or "there's never enough," keeps them locked? And how swiftly would those doors swing wide if you chose instead to speak words of faith, words aligned with the law of abundance? Margaret did not need 10,000 affirmations. She needed one. One sentence spoken with repetition and rising belief carried enough power to break the chains of her old reality. You too hold such a sentence. Perhaps it is, "I am rich in divine substance, and money comes to me in perfect ways." Or, "I always have more than enough, for I am one with infinite supply." Or, "God is my source, and I am abundantly provided for now." Do not underestimate the power of one. The gardener does not plant 10,000 seeds in one hole. He plants one seed in good soil, and it multiplies. So it is with your words. Let me tell you what Margaret later shared. She said, "It wasn't just the new job. It was the feeling of freedom. For the first time, I realized I was not at the mercy of chance or effort. My words shaped my life. And if one sentence could bring me this much good, what else is possible?" Her story is yours as well. You too can plant a sentence that unlocks unseen doors. You too can shift your reality within hours, not by force, but by law. So I ask you, what is the single sentence you will claim today? Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, but now. What phrase will you etch upon your tongue until it vibrates through your being and calls forth the abundance waiting for you? Do not wait for belief to come first. Speak, and belief will follow. For faith is not always a feeling, it is action. When you declare truth even in trembling, you set the law in motion. Say with me now, softly but firmly, "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." Feel how it rises within you, breaking chains of doubt, lifting you into new expectancy. Speak it through the night, if you must. Speak it until your cells believe it, for the law will not fail you. And when your own story unfolds, when the call comes, when the door opens, when the river of substance flows, remember Margaret. Remember the single sentence that turned her life. And know that the same power is in your word now. And this is not magic, it is law. If this story stirs your faith type, I believe in divine law. Let your words mark the turning point, as Margaret's did, as mine did, as yours will. There is a temple of prosperity, vast and shining, standing in the unseen. Its doors are always open, yet few enter. Why? Because they believe the temple is locked, that they need luck or toil or privilege to find the key. But the truth is, the temple stands upon 7 great pillars, and anyone who learns them may walk inside freely. These are the 7 divine laws of prosperity. Let me take your hand and lead you to the threshold. We will not yet study each pillar in full. That will come in the next part of our journey. But tonight, as the lamps burn softly, we will walk among them, seeing their form, feeling their strength, and awakening to the rhythm of divine law. There is a law for the word. This is the first and mightiest of all. For with your word, you plant the seed of reality. Your word is your wand, your decree, your blueprint. Speak lack, and lack is drawn. Speak abundance, and abundance appears. The law of the word governs the unseen soil into which every phrase falls. It is the power that Margaret used when she declared, "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way," and the world rearranged to match her speech. This is the law that makes you creator, not victim. There is a law for circulation. Money like blood must flow. When you clutch and hoard it in fear, you choke the current. When you release it with faith, it returns multiplied. The law of circulation declares that what you give with joy and expectation flows back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Imagine the river. When you block it, it stagnates. When you allow it to flow, it cleanses, nourishes, and renews. So too with your money. There is a law for assumption. To assume is to take on the consciousness of what you desire before it appears. When you walk as though you are already supplied, the supply must come. The law of assumption is not pretense, it is alignment. It says, act, feel, and think as though your good is already here, and it must manifest. The beggar consciousness repels supply, but the heir consciousness attracts it unfailingly. There is a law for tithing with the word. Tithing is not mere arithmetic, it is a spiritual acknowledgement that God is your source. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught that it is not only money you tithe, but also your words. You speak your tenth to the divine, declaring continually, I am supplied, I am prospered, I am rich in substance. Tithing is thanksgiving in advance, sealing your faith with spoken recognition of supply. There is a law for agreement. When 2 or more agree upon a thing, it shall be done. Agreement multiplies power. Agreement aligns vibrations. Agreement draws heaven down to earth. This is why fellowship is vital. When you join your word with another in faith, you accelerate manifestation. The law of agreement is the harmony of souls resonating with one truth, amplifying it into form. There is a law for identity. You manifest not what you want, but what you are. If you see yourself as poor, you repel wealth. If you see yourself as rich in divine substance, the outer world reflects that image. The law of identity says, as within, so without. You cannot outrun your self-concept, but you can renew it. When you claim your true identity as a child of God, heir of all abundance, then wealth must find you, for it answers to who you are. There is a law for obedience. All laws respond to obedience. Gravity obeys its nature. Seeds obey their season. So must we obey divine instruction. When the inner voice says, speak this word, or release this gift, or take this step, obedience unlocks the flow. Disobedience dams it. The law of obedience is not harsh, it is liberation. It aligns you with the rhythm of divine order, where every action becomes a step on the path of abundance. Standing in that temple, The 7 pillars rise around you gleaming with eternal light. Each one whispers, "There is a law for," and your heart responds, "Yes, I will walk in it. This is no dream. This is reality awaiting your agreement." I remember the first time I glimpsed these laws. It was like being shown the map of a treasure I had long sought. Suddenly, the scattered fragments of my struggle made sense. Why my effort failed, why my luck faltered, why my prayers seemed unanswered. It was not cruelty nor neglect, it was simply that I had not aligned with the law. And when I did, the doors flew open. Beloved, your life is not subject to chance. It is not ruled by the whims of men. It is governed by law, divine, perfect, unbreakable law. And these 7 laws are the blueprint of prosperity. But for now, let the preview settle in your heart. Say softly to yourself, "There is a law for my prosperity. I align with it now." And as you rest in that truth, ask yourself, which of these laws already speaks to me? Which pillar feels as though it has been waiting for me to lean upon it? Share in the comments, for agreement multiplies faith. You have seen the illusions dissolve. You have discovered money's true nature as spiritual substance. You have grasped the wand of your word. You have witnessed the power of a single sentence. And now you have glimpsed the 7 laws that form the eternal temple of prosperity. The journey has only begun. Beloved listener, let us now step deeper into the inner chamber of creation, the law of the word. For in the beginning, before any form was seen, before any coin was minted, before any house was built, there was the Word. And the Word was not a suggestion nor a timid whisper. It was a decree, a command, a sounding forth of divine authority. Every word you speak is a seed cast into the fertile ground of the universe. Just as a gardener cannot toss thorns into the soil and expect roses, neither can you scatter words of lack, doubt, and complaint and then demand a harvest of wealth, joy, and freedom. The soil does not judge, it obeys, and so does spirit. When you say, "I can't afford it," the soil of the unseen takes you at your word and shapes conditions that make it so. When you sigh, "Money never stays with me," the obedient universe sends it on its way, for you have commanded it to flee. But when you declare, "Money comes to me in avalanches of abundance, easily and effortlessly," you have carved a new mold. When you affirm, "I prosper wherever I go because God prospers through me," the very atoms of substance rearrange themselves to obey. Remember this truth: every word creates your mold. Choose carefully. Let me tell you of Clara, a woman who came to me years ago, weary with debt and despair. Her lips were heavy with constant complaint. "I'll never catch up," she would groan. "I'm cursed with bills." And indeed, her life was but the echo of those words. I instructed her gently, "Clara, every word you speak is a decree to your world. Reverse your speech, and you will reverse your life." So though she felt it a lie at first, she began to say, "I am rich in substance now. Every bill is paid in full. Money comes quickly in perfect ways." At first, nothing appeared, but she did not relent. She watered her new seed daily with words of faith, and soon the ground answered. Unexpected checks arrived, a forgotten investment matured, work flowed in. Her cursed bills turned into a testimony of supply. Why? Because she stopped commanding lack and began commanding abundance. Words are like the rudder of a great ship. The sailor may be in the storm, waves may crash, winds may howl, but the rudder still determines the direction. If you speak defeat, the ship turns toward defeat. If you speak wealth, the ship turns toward wealth. And hear me well, a divided tongue is as dangerous as a divided heart. Some speak faith on Sunday and fear on Monday. They bless with one sentence and curse with the next. Such speech produces confusion like planting corn one day and pulling it up the next. The law of the word demands constancy. The gardener who sows in spring does not dig up his seed each morning to check its progress. He trusts the unseen process. So must you with your words. Take a moment with me now. Close your eyes and speak aloud. I now plant words of wealth. I decree abundance, prosperity, and financial freedom. My words are seeds of gold, and they grow swiftly into a rich harvest. Pause. Feel the vibration of your own voice. It is not merely sound, it is substance clothed in vibration, carrying command to the invisible ethers. Do not underestimate the simple act of declaration, for the invisible world listens to your every decree, and it always says yes. But let us also warn, fearful speech is as potent as faithful speech. When you mutter, "This economy will ruin me," the soil nods its head and brings forth ruin. When you jest, "I'm broke as always," the universe does not laugh, it obeys. Consider the story of Jonathan, a successful merchant who loved to mock. He would often joke to his friends, "I'm always one step from bankruptcy." It was his favorite line. He thought it harmless. But the law does not discern humor, it only hears command. Within 2 years, mismanagement and unforeseen losses swept his fortune away. He had joked himself into lack. The word is sacred. Do not trifle with it. Hear the wisdom of the gardener again. If you want roses, plant roses. If you want wealth, plant wealth. Plant it with words. Water it with repetition. Guard it against weeds of doubt. And wait, for the soil never fails to respond. Now let us affirm together, I speak with authority. My words are divine commands. I never speak lack. I never speak defeat. I decree wealth. I decree success. I decree joy, and so it is. Beloved soul, you now know, every word you speak is law unto your life. It shapes your substance, commands your supply, and creates your future. Speak as the king or queen. You are not as the beggar you once believed yourself to be. Every word creates your mold. Choose carefully. Beloved soul, having seen the power of the word, let us now move into the rhythm of supply, the law of circulation. Money, like blood in the body, like water in the river, like breath in the lungs, was created to move. It was never designed to stagnate. The moment money is hoarded, in fear its life force contracts. The moment it is released with joy, its current strengthens, multiplies, and returns. Think of the mighty river. It rushes, it flows, it nourishes the land, it fills the ocean, and then through the clouds, it returns again as rain. The farmer who dams the river completely soon finds stagnant water foul and lifeless. But the one who allows it to flow receives freshness, fertility, and unending replenishment. So, it is with your money. When you spend in fear, muttering, "This will drain me dry," you cut yourself off from the returning current. But when you release with joy, saying, "I send this money forth to bless and return," multiplied, you step into the endless river of circulation. Let me tell you the story of a young tailor named Samuel. His business was modest, and though his hands were skillful, his heart was bound by fear. Each coin he received, he clutched tightly, dreading that more would not come. He hoarded, he delayed payment, he begrudged even the smallest expense, and though his pockets seemed full for a time, his business grew cold. Customers drifted away. His fabric supplier stopped extending him trust. His flow constricted until he was left with little. One day in despair, he came to me and confessed, "I fear money leaving me, for I do not know if it will ever return." I told him, "Samuel, money is like your breath. Exhale fully, and the inhale comes naturally. Hold your breath in fear, and soon you suffocate. Release with joy, and circulation will carry you." He began hesitantly to change. Each time he spent, he blessed the money aloud. "I release you joyfully, knowing you bless and return multiplied." He paid his supplier with thanksgiving. He tipped generously. He gave a portion to the poor. Within months, his shop flourished. New clients arrived. A wealthy merchant ordered suits in bulk. His fearful hoarding had once strangled his prosperity, but his joyful circulation now multiplied it. This is the law. Whatever you withhold in fear withers. Whatever you circulate in joy multiplies. Consider the body again. The heart does not keep blood for itself. It pumps it through the veins. The lungs do not hoard oxygen. They release carbon and receive fresh breath. The trees give out oxygen, we give out carbon, and together life is sustained. So must your money breathe. Inhale with gratitude when it comes. Exhale with joy when it goes, for it always returns. Now pause with me. Place your hand upon your heart and breathe deeply. Whisper, "As freely as I breathe, I let money flow. I do not fear its going, for I trust its return. I circulate with joy, and I prosper richly." Feel the rhythm within your chest, the divine reminder that circulation is life. Yet let me give a warning. If fear commands your spending, circulation breaks. When you release money while cursing, saying, "There goes my last dollar," you send it forth poisoned, and it hesitates to return. But when you send it forth with blessing, it becomes like a dove that flies back with a message of plenty. Hear another testimony. A woman named Eleanor once said to me, "I give, but I always feel anxious afterward, wondering if I was too generous." I answered, "Your gift carried two energies, the act of release and the seed of fear. You must release it whole with joy, with blessing, without regret. For the universe returns to you what you send out in spirit." She practiced blessing every transaction, even small ones. At the market, she would hand over coins, saying, "This money blesses the farmer and returns multiplied." Soon, her income streams doubled. She became a living witness to the law of circulation. Now let us practice together. When you pay a bill, do not groan. Instead, say, "I rejoice to give." This money blesses the hands that receive it and returns to me multiplied. When you buy food, declare, "This purchase blesses me, blesses the farmer, blesses the earth, and returns to me multiplied." When you tip a waiter, whisper, "This gift brings joy to another, and joy returns to me multiplied." The more you circulate with joy, the more life rushes to meet you. Beloved, money is not an idol to cling to, nor a master to fear. It is a servant, a current, a flowing stream. Do not dam it. Do not hoard it. Bless it, release it, circulate it, and it will forever return. Beloved, having spoken of the word and the flow of circulation, let us now turn to a law that reshapes the very fabric of your reality, the law of assumption. This law whispers, "You do not receive what you long for, you receive what you assume." Assumption is the invisible cloak you wear. It is not mere wishing nor a timid hope. It is the bold act of stepping into your desire as if it were already accomplished. To assume is to inhabit the finished state. To walk as though it is already yours. To speak as though the crown already rests upon your head. Think of the prince who, though a child, is raised as heir to the throne. He does not wander the palace, doubting if one day he might be king. He learns to walk, to speak, to decide as one who already possesses authority. His tutors do not train him to beg, they train him to rule. And so must you, child of divine inheritance. If you desire wealth, you must clothe yourself in the identity of wealth now. Not tomorrow, not after the raise, not after the debt clears, but now. The law of assumption says the universe mirrors the state you occupy. If you assume poverty, life obliges you with conditions to match. If you assume wealth, the outer begins to bend itself to your inner decree. Let me share the story of Margaret, a woman who lived in a small rented room, working tirelessly, yet never advancing. Each day she said, "One day, when I have money, I will dress well, live well, and walk in dignity." I told her, "Margaret, you are postponing your crown. Begin to assume it now. Buy one garment that makes you feel like a queen. Walk through your room as if it were a palace. Speak of yourself as one already provided for." At first she laughed. "But it feels like play acting," she said. I answered, "Yes, holy play, for all creation is but God's play made manifest. Assume the role and the stage of life will rearrange itself to match." She obeyed. She began to dress with care, to set her small table with dignity, to walk with her head high, to speak of herself as prosperous. In less than a year, an unexpected inheritance opened to her, and she moved into a home that matched the palace she had already been inhabiting within. Why? Because the law does not wait for evidence. The law responds to assumption. Now, beloved soul, let us try it together. Close your eyes. Imagine your desire already fulfilled. If it is wealth, picture yourself checking your bank account and smiling at abundance. If it is freedom, see yourself moving where you wish, unbound. If it is generosity, see yourself giving freely, joyfully. Now breathe into it. Feel it as real, and whisper with me, "I already am. I already have. I already live in wealth, in freedom and joy. My assumption is my reality." Do you feel it? That is the power of assumption. But let us also warn, wishing is weak. Assumption is strong. To wish is to say, "It is not yet mine." To assume is to say, "It is mine already." The beggar says, "I hope one day to eat." The king says, "My banquet awaits." Which one do you speak as? The universe cannot be fooled by your outer words if your inner assumption contradicts them. You may say, "I am rich," but if you assume secretly that you are poor, your results will show the assumption, not the words. Thus, words and assumption must align, inner and outer must be one. There was once a young man named Peter who dreamed of being a successful speaker. Yet he always assumed he was shy, awkward, and second best. Even when given opportunities, his assumption betrayed him. He shrank and stumbled. I told him, "Peter, before you can speak to crowds, you must assume the identity of one who already has. Stand in your room and walk as though thousands listen. Assume the posture, assume the tone, assume the presence." He practiced daily embodying the role long before it came. Within a year, doors opened, invitations arrived, and he became the speaker he had assumed himself to be. Beloved, here lies the secret. The outer world is but a shadow cast by your inner assumption. Change the assumption, and the shadow must shift. Now let us affirm, "I walk today as the wealthy one. I speak today as the prosperous one. I live today as the fulfilled one. My assumption is law, and it manifests now." I invite you now into a small act of embodiment. Rise from where you sit. Walk 3 steps forward as though walking into your palace, into your new reality. Hold your head high. Smile as though every desire has already been answered. Let your body feel what your spirit already knows. This is the living prayer, not waiting, but walking as if it is done. Beloved, when you live as though it's done, the law obeys. And now, before we move to the next law, let me ask you to participate. If today you choose to walk as though your wealth is already here, comment 1. If you choose to walk as though your freedom is already here, comment 2. Declare it, assume it, embody it. Beloved soul, let us now unfold a law often misunderstood, and yet one of the most powerful multipliers of wealth, the law of tithing with the word. For many have heard of tithing, the giving of a portion, the offering back of what has been received. Yet few understand that it is not the act of giving alone that multiplies, it is the word spoken over the gift. A seed cast into dry ground without water may remain dormant, but a seed cast into ground that is watered and blessed springs forth in abundance. So it is with money. To give without word is to drop seed in soil. To give with word is to water it with the rain of heaven. I once knew a man named Robert. He tithed faithfully 10% of his income year after year. Yet he often grumbled, "This church wastes money," or muttered, "I never see any return from this giving." His gift was mechanical. His lips were bitter. And though he gave much, his return was little. Then came another, a woman named Grace. She tithed as well, though her income was smaller. But each time she gave, she placed her hand upon the offering and whispered, "This money is blessed. It multiplies the work it touches. It returns to me 100-fold." Her tithe became a seed watered with faith, and soon doors opened, unexpected promotions, gifts, and inheritances. Her small offering returned as great abundance. Do you see the difference? Robert tithed without word, and his seed lay dry. Grace tithed with word, and her seed multiplied. Beloved, your money is not mute. It carries vibration. When you send it forth, it goes clothed in your consciousness. If you send it with complaint, it goes poisoned. If you send it with blessing, it goes empowered. Therefore, when you give to a church, to a cause, to a friend, to a stranger, you must speak over it. Say aloud, "This gift is blessed. It blesses the receiver and returns multiplied to me." This is not superstition, it is spiritual law. The word spoken charges the gift with life. Let us pause for a moment of practice. Imagine the next bill you pay, the next donation you give, the next coin you release. Place your hand upon it and say aloud with me, "I bless this money. It blesses where it goes and returns to me multiplied. It circulates joy, health, wealth, and prosperity." Do you feel the shift that is the power of tithing with word? Let me share another testimony. A woman named Esther once came to me troubled. "I give," she said, "but my giving feels like loss. I always feel emptier after I tithe." I asked her, "What do you speak as you give?" She answered, "Nothing. I simply hand it over." I instructed her, "Begin to speak blessing over it. Speak multiplication, speak joy, for your word waters the gift." She obeyed. Each time she tithed, she declared, "This is God's money. It multiplies it, blesses it, returns." Within weeks, unexpected supply flowed into her life, checks, gifts, new business. She laughed and said, "I have never felt so rich, and I never gave more joyfully." Understand this truth. Giving without word is incomplete. The tithe is the seed. The word is the water. Both together bring the harvest. Now, beloved, let us consider why this law holds such power. When you give and bless, you acknowledge that you are not the source, but the channel. You release ownership and affirm circulation. You align yourself with the river of supply, trusting that as you pour out, so shall you be filled. But when you give in silence or resentment, you give without faith. The seed falls on barren ground. Thus, Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "No gift blesses that has not first been blessed." Let us make this practice tangible. From this day, each time you give even a coin, pause and speak, "This gift is multiplied." It blesses and returns. It grows as a harvest of abundance. In so doing, you seal your given with divine word, and the law of tithing with word begins to operate on your behalf. Beloved, I remind you of the farmer again. He plants, he waters, he blesses, and he waits. He does not look to the sky in fear, wondering if the seed will betray him. He knows the law of growth is certain. So it is with you. Give, bless, and know it must return. Now affirm with me, I am a joyful giver. I bless my tithe, I bless my gift, I bless my money. Every gift I send forth multiplies, blesses, and returns to me pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Pause. Let that vibration settle in your soul. Beloved soul, never again give silently. Never again release without word. For the spoken blessing is the key multiplier. Beloved listener, before the world speaks, you must speak. Before the demands of life rush in, you must take command. The morning is the open gate, and what you send forth at dawn will walk beside you until the setting of the sun. Therefore, let us begin with the sacred ritual of morning wealth declarations. For the word spoken in the morning shapes the fabric of the entire day. Imagine now that you have just awakened. The light of dawn has brushed its golden hand upon your eyelids. The air is still soft with silence. In this holy beginning, you do not reach for your phone, you do not tumble into worry, no. You rise and you speak first. For Florence Scovel Shinn has told us, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. So, in this hour, you choose words of wealth, health, and joy. Let us walk together through this ritual step by step. Take a deep breath. Place your hand upon your heart. Whisper with me, "This is the day the Lord has made. I rejoice and I am glad in it." Wealth flows to me easily and abundantly from expected and unexpected sources. I am a perfect channel for divine substance. Money is God in action, and it comes to me richly. Pause. Feel those words land not as mere sounds, but as living decrees. Each one is like the seed of a mighty oak already alive with destiny. Now rise from bed, stand tall. Look to the east, whether the sun is visible or not, you know it rises. Say aloud, I walk in the rhythm of divine supply. I cast out every thought of lack, and I welcome infinite plenty. I am aligned with the lavish abundance of the universe. Let us weave a story together now. See yourself stepping into your day. The door opens. As you walk out, you do not shuffle as one who hopes, you stride as one who commands. People greet you, and though they may not know why, they feel lifted in your presence. Why? Because you began your day by speaking wealth, and your aura now carries the vibration of prosperity. Everywhere you go, things seem to arrange themselves in your favor. Parking spaces open, opportunities appear, unexpected checks come in the mail. This is not accident. This is law. The morning word set the tone. Repeat after me with steady rhythm. Divine substance is my supply, and it never fails. I give thanks for the riches already prepared for me this day. I expect only miracles, for nothing is too good to be true. And now, let us make it personal. Say your own name aloud and affirm your name. You are blessed. You are wealthy. You are prosperous. You are supplied. Call your own soul into alignment. This is not vain repetition. This is spiritual architecture. You are laying the bricks of truth upon which your day will stand. Now let us visualize. Picture a golden river flowing toward you. It is wide, it is endless, and it moves without effort. This is the current of divine abundance. As you see it, affirm, the river of gold flows toward me and through me. It is inexhaustible, eternal, unceasing. Picture your wallet, your bank account, your purse, your home, all filled with this golden river. Speak with me. I bless my wallet. It is always filled with plenty. I bless my bank account. It grows daily by divine decree. I bless my home. It is a storehouse of good. And now imagine yourself giving. See yourself blessing someone with generosity. Hear them say, "Thank you," feel the joy. Then affirm, "I give freely, fearlessly, and without thought of return. And I receive richly, lavishly, from every direction." For as you give, so you receive. The cycle is unbroken. Beloved, know this truth. The day must obey the words with which you begin it. If you send forth strength, you will not stumble. If you send forth wealth, you will not lack. If you send forth joy, sadness cannot dwell in your gates. Therefore, never let the morning slip away without first placing your crown upon your head, the crown of the spoken word. So one final decree before we move: let this day be filled with miracles. Let doors open that no man can shut. Let wealth, health, love, and joy pursue me from dawn to dusk. It is done. It is sealed. It is law. Beloved one, the mind is a garden, and thoughts are the seeds. Some seeds grow into flowers of abundance, others into weeds of fear. The law is impartial. It simply multiplies whatever you plant. Therefore, the great discipline of the spiritual student is this: to immediately uproot every weed of fear and plant in its place the seed of truth. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Fear is inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good." And what is faith but the assurance of things unseen? When fear whispers, it paints pictures of lack, sickness, rejection, and defeat. But fear is nothing but a counterfeit. It has no law, no substance, no power, unless you lend it your voice. So today, let us practice the substitution method, the swift replacing of every false thought with a true word. For you always have the last word. Choose it well. Let us enter into a small drama, a scene that may feel familiar. Fear says, "You don't have enough money." What if the bills come due and you cannot pay? Truth answers, "God is my instant, constant, and lavish supply. My riches come from the kingdom, not from appearances." Fear says, "What if you lose your job? What if the opportunity slips away?" Truth answers, "Opportunities cannot be lost to me. What belongs to me by divine right cannot be taken, delayed, or denied." Fear says, "What if people don't like you? What if you are rejected?" Truth answers, "I am divinely irresistible. Those who are mine by right of love and association come easily, joyfully, and harmoniously." Do you see? Fear is quick, but truth is quicker. The moment fear strikes you, open your mouth and speak the word of truth. You cancel the false decree and establish the real. Let us now practice together. I will give you a common fear thought, and you will answer aloud with the truth I provide. Speak it boldly, for the spoken word breaks the spell. I say, "You're running out of time." You say, "Divine timing is never late." everything unfolds in perfect order. I say you will never get out of debt. You say I walk in freedom now. All that is owed to me is paid in full, and I owe no man anything but love. I say you are not good enough. You say I am wonderfully made equipped and chosen for my purpose. I am enough now. I say things never work out for you. You say everything always works together for my good. What is meant for me cannot pass me by. Feel the power in this exchange. It is the rehearsal of truth until it becomes reflex. Understand this: every fear, thought is like a match. If you drop it upon dry straw, it can burn your house of faith. But if at once you extinguish it with the water of truth, the match is harmless. This is why you must catch the thought early. The moment the fear whispers, interrupt it. Say, that is not my thought. That is not my word. Then replace it with truth. Let us affirm now: I am quick to reject false appearances. I am swift to replace fear with faith. I always have the last word, and my last word is truth. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself walking through your day. Around you is a radiant shield woven of words you have spoken. It glimmers like golden light, impenetrable. When fear approaches, it hits the shield and dissolves into nothing. You smile and say your decree, and the shield grows stronger. Affirm with me: my words form a shield of faith around me. No false idea can penetrate the fortress of truth I live within. I am safe. I am supplied. I am secure. I recall the story of a woman who once feared poverty daily. Every bill that came in the mail struck her heart with terror. But she practiced this method faithfully. Each time fear said, "You cannot pay this," she said, "God is my immediate supply. This bill is already paid in divine substance." Within weeks, unexpected income began arriving. Debts were canceled. Even strangers sent her help. What changed? Not the world, but her word. She stopped agreeing with fear and started agreeing with truth. Remember, this agreement is power. What you agree with in thought and word becomes law in your life. Let us now make this personal. Think of a fear thought that often visits you. Bring it to mind. Now pause. Ask yourself, what is the opposite truth? Speak it now. Speak it aloud. Replace the lie with the law. Feel the energy shift in your body. Notice how fear dissolves when truth is spoken with authority. Beloved, the substitution method must become a daily habit. At first, you may need to catch dozens of thoughts each hour. But soon, it will be like brushing your teeth, automatic, essential, done without effort. Each time you replace fear with truth, you are training your inner ear to recognize the sound of the shepherd's voice. You are tuning your consciousness to abundance. Fear is a shadow. Truth is the sun. Fear has no voice in me. Truth is my final decree. I always have the last word, and I choose it now: abundance, joy, success, and peace. And so it is. Now, if this practice of replacing fear with truth has spoken to you, I invite you to share. Comment 1 if you will begin catching your fear thoughts today. 2 if you have already seen breakthroughs by replacing fear with truth. Beloved, life is circulation. Just as blood moves through the body, so does money move through the world. It is never stagnant, never fixed, always flowing from hand to hand, heart to heart, place to place. When you understand this law, you no longer cling in fear nor spend in haste. You bless every transaction, for every dollar that leaves your hand becomes a messenger, returning to you, multiplied, enriched, and increased. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, What man gives away, he must receive back. So he should give only that which he would receive. If you give with dread, you receive with dread. If you give with blessing, you receive with blessing. Let us therefore sanctify every act of exchange with the word of truth. Money is not merely paper or coin. It is a symbol of divine substance, a token of trust, a medium of blessing. It is energy clothed in green. It flows like water, and when you dam it with fear, it stagnates. When you release it with love, it multiplies. So here is the great practice. Each time you give, bless it. Each time you receive, bless it. When you pay a bill, say, I bless this bill. It represents services already received. I send this payment forth joyfully, and it returns to me multiplied. When you buy groceries, whisper, I bless this food. I bless the farmer, the worker, the store, and every hand that brought it to me. As I give, so I receive in endless circulation. When you receive money in your wallet, your account, your hand, affirm, I bless this money. I am grateful for its presence. It grows and circulates with ease. Visualization, the circle of gold. Close your eyes and imagine now a great circle of gold. See yourself standing within it. In your hand, a golden coin. As you release the coin, it travels around the circle, moving through the hands of many shopkeepers, friends, strangers, businesses, artists, healers. Everywhere it goes, it blesses and prospers. And after its journey, it comes back to you, but multiplied tenfold, glowing even brighter. Say with me, every dollar I spend blesses the world and returns to me multiplied. I live in divine circulation. Nothing is ever lost. A man once told the story of writing the words, God bless you upon a single dollar before giving it away. That dollar went out, and weeks later, he found himself receiving unexpected checks, new clients, and surprising gifts. What had he done? He had blessed his transaction, turning money from a dead piece of paper into a living seed of faith. What you bless, you multiply. What you curse, you diminish. Therefore, let your every payment, every purchase, every receipt be baptized in blessing. Beloved, let us practice together. Imagine paying your rent or mortgage. Instead of sighing, instead of shrinking, you lift your hand and say, I bless this home. I bless the shelter it provides. I bless the hands who built it, the ground it stands upon, the roof above me. I release this money joyfully, knowing a greater harvest is already on its way. Now picture yourself at a restaurant leaving a tip. Instead of thinking, I can't afford to give too much, you smile and say, I bless this gift. I bless the worker who served me. I release this with joy, and abundance returns to me with speed. Finally, see yourself checking your bank account. Whether the number is small or great, you declare, I bless this account. Divine substance is filling it even now. It grows daily, for I am in the flow of circulation. There was a woman who dreaded paying her bills. She would mutter, money goes out faster than it comes in. And indeed it did. But when she learned the law of blessing, everything changed. She began blessing each bill, thanking God for the electricity, the water, the phone service. She said, I release this money joyfully, and it comes back multiplied. Within months, she noticed unexpected refunds, raises, and gifts appearing in her life. The bills had not changed, but her word had, and therefore her world had. Think now of a transaction that often fills you with dread. Perhaps it is rent, a credit card, a tax payment. Hold it in your mind. Now, instead of fear, wrap it in blessing. Speak these words with me, I bless this payment. It represents abundance already enjoyed. I release it with joy, and I expect its return multiplied. How do you feel, lighter, freer? This is the power of blessing. Fear contracts, blessing expands. Money loves rhythm. Just as the ocean loves the tide, just as the heart loves its beat, money loves to move. When you bless every transaction, you are setting money free to dance, to flow, to sing its way back to you. Say with me, I am never afraid of circulation. What I release comes back to me multiplied. Money is my friend, my servant, my messenger of good. Every transaction is holy, every exchange is blessed. Beloved, never again speak of money as lost. Nothing is lost in divine mind. Every dollar you spend, every gift you give, every transaction you make is a seed. When you bless it, you are planting in fertile soil. The harvest is sure. So let us end this practice with a great decree. Each dollar becomes a messenger of blessing. It goes forth with joy and returns with abundance. I live in divine circulation, and my supply is endless. And so it is. Beloved one, we now arrive at a holy practice, a practice so simple that many overlook its power, and yet so potent that it can overturn appearances within a single day. It is called the Sacred Sentence Activation, a decree spoken with faith, rhythm, and authority designed to manifest within 24 hours. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Your word is your wand." The words you speak create your own destiny, and indeed the tongue is the rudder that steers the ship of life. When you speak in alignment with divine law, with the conviction that the unseen is more real than the seen, the law hastens to obey. A sacred sentence is a short rhythmic declaration, sharp as a sword, firm as a stone, clear as the bell of truth. It is not long, not elaborate. Its power lies in its precision. For example, unexpected money comes to me now. What is mine by divine right appears immediately. There is no delay in the kingdom of good. The sacred sentence is a decree that cannot be argued with. It leaves no loopholes for fear, no hesitation for doubt. Spoken with faith, it activates the law of demonstration, and often results appear within 24 hours. When you speak your sacred sentence, do not mumble. Do not rush. Speak it with measured rhythm as though you were striking a great drum. Each word falls with weight. Each phrase carries authority. Imagine a judge declaring, "Case dismissed." He does not whisper. He commands. In the same way, when you speak your sacred sentence, you stand as judge in your own court of life, dismissing lack, dismissing fear, establishing truth. Try it now. Speak slowly with rhythm. Unexpected money comes to me now. Unexpected money comes to me now. Unexpected money comes to me now. Do you feel the vibration that is law taking shape? There was a woman who needed immediate supply. A bill had come due, and her purse was empty. She sat in silence. Then she spoke, "Divine supply flows to me now. This bill is already paid." She repeated it with steady rhythm, refusing to entertain doubt. That very afternoon, a long-forgotten debt was repaid to her the exact amount she needed. Another man desired work, but found only closed doors. He declared, "The right job finds me now. Nothing can keep it from me." The next day, a friend called unexpectedly and offered him a position that matched his skills perfectly. Again and again, testimonies rise from those who dared to use the sacred sentence with faith. It is not magic, but law. Beloved, your sacred sentence must be clear and direct. Do not dilute it with conditions or explanations. Choose one desire, frame it as already established, and speak it with conviction. If you need supply, declare, "I receive money now in perfect ways." If you seek healing, declare, "Every cell of my body is radiant with life now." If you long for harmony in relationships, declare perfect love governs the situation now. Notice the common thread, each is simple, rhythmic, unshakable. Here's the method, select your sacred sentence. Be clear. One desire, one decree. Speak it aloud for 7 cycles. Each cycle is 7 repetitions spoken with rhythm and breath. Release it. After speaking, go about your day with expectancy, not strain. Do not dig up the seed. Trust that law is working. Watch within 24 hours. Signs will appear, a call, an idea, a gift, a shift. Recognize it as the echo of your decree. Immersive practice. Let us practice together. Stand tall, feet firmly planted. Place your hand upon your heart. Speak after me with steady rhythm. What is mine by divine right appears now. 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 Pause. Breathe. Do you feel the vibration in your chest? That is the power of decree. A young man once desired to attend an important event but lacked the funds. He spoke, "The way is prepared. I am provided for now." He repeated it with joy, imagining himself already present at the event. Within 24 hours, a friend called and said, "I have an extra ticket. Would you like to come?" Not only was the ticket free, but the friend also covered the travel expenses. Beloved, this is not coincidence. This is law set in motion by the sacred sentence. Some may say, but what if nothing happens in 24 hours? To this, I answer, something always happens. It may not be the full manifestation, but the law will send a sign, a step, a stirring. Your part is not to doubt, but to recognize and give thanks. The rhythm of repetition breaks doubt. When the mind wants to wander, the drum of your words brings it back. Say it until you feel it. Say it until your body tingles. Say it until the walls of fear collapse. Now, dear listener, it is your turn. Take a moment. What is the one thing you desire today? Not someday, but today. Formulate it into a sacred sentence. Keep it simple, rhythmic, and present. For example, my perfect opportunity appears now. All doors open for me now. I am abundantly supplied now. Write it, speak it, declare it. Beloved, discipline is the bridge between desire and demonstration. It is one thing to speak a word once with passion, but it is another to sustain the rhythm of truth day after day. For the law of prosperity does not yield to the faint-hearted. It responds to consistency, persistence, and joyful obedience. And so I invite you into the 7-day word challenge, a sacred discipline of repeating your declarations multiple times daily, anchoring truth into your very bones until it becomes your natural language. For 7 days, you will live as one who commands, not one who wishes. For 7 days, your word will be your staff, your shield, your sword. 7 is the number of completion, the rhythm of creation, the divine cycle. In 7 days, light was called forth, waters divided, earth made fruitful. 7 days are sufficient to establish a new pattern in mind and to engrave truth upon the subconscious. Therefore, the 7-day word challenge is not random. It is patterned after divine order itself. Here is the challenge in its simplicity. Morning declarations. Upon waking, speak your chosen declarations 7 times each. These are your commands for the day. Midday renewal. At midday, pause for 5 minutes. Repeat your declarations aloud, restoring your rhythm, keeping your mind aligned. Evening seal. Before bed, speak them again, sealing the truth upon your subconscious for the night. 3 times daily. 7 days. The rhythm of heaven echoing in your words. You may choose your own, but here are a few to guide you. I live in a rich and friendly universe. Unexpected money comes to me now. I walk in divine favor. Doors open easily for me. What is mine by divine right appears now. I am one with the infinite supply, and it flows to me richly. Choose 3. Stay consistent. Repeat them with rhythm and joy. I recall a woman who took this very challenge. At first, she felt silly repeating her words so often, but she remained faithful. On the 3rd day, she received a call about a forgotten inheritance. On the 5th day, a new business opportunity appeared. By the 7th, she was so charged with faith that she declared, "This practice is my new way of life." What happened? She aligned her vibration with divine law, not once, not twice, but daily, until the law had no choice but to respond. Beloved, challenges are easier when we do not walk alone. Therefore, I encourage you to join this community of listeners and practitioners. Speak your commitment aloud. Write it. Share it. When you declare your challenge publicly, you fortify your will and inspire others. Say it now, I commit to the 7-day word challenge. And if you feel led, post below, I begin the 7-day challenge. Let others see your flame and catch fire from it. Let us practice the rhythm of the challenge together right now, as if this were your first day. Morning declarations. Repeat with me 7 times, I live in a rich and friendly universe. 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 Pause, breathe, smile. The universe smiles back. Repeat with me. Unexpected money comes to me now. Repeat with me. What is mine by divine right appears now. Do you feel the rhythm building? This is how your days will unfold, wrapped in truth, sealed in power. When many voices speak the same word, the vibration is amplified. Imagine hundreds, even thousands of people across the world, each taking this challenge, each speaking prosperity, health, and joy into being. The collective decree rises like incense, and the law responds with multiplied blessings. By joining this challenge, you are not only shifting your own life, you are strengthening the field of faith for all who walk this path. Perhaps you will hear a whisper. This is too much. You don't have time. You will forget. That is the old self resisting transformation. Ignore it. Replace it with truth. I have time for truth saves me time. I am faithful to my practice, and my practice is faithful to me. Remember, discipline is not bondage. It is freedom. It frees you from drifting, from doubt, from delay. Beloved, 7 days of word discipline can change a lifetime. If you have ever struggled to see results, if you have ever wondered why the law seemed slow to respond, this challenge will show you the missing key: consistency in the word. So, I say to you, now commit, speak, persist, and by the end of 7 days, you will not only have results, but you will have proof that your word is law, proof that abundance is your right, proof that the rhythm of truth cannot fail. Seal it with me. I begin the 7-day word challenge, and my life is forever changed. And so it is. Beloved, we have walked together through the morning declarations, the substitution of fear with truth, the blessing of every transaction, the sacred sentence, and the 7-day challenge. Each practice has been a pillar, each word a stone, each decree a flame. And now we arrive at the closing, the integration, the sealing, the anchoring of faith. For truth is not something to be visited once and then forgotten. It is not a guest, but a dwelling. It must be woven into the fabric of your days, carried in your breath, spoken in your sleep, lived in your choices. And so this final practice is the anchoring of all we have learned into a temple of faith within your soul. Faith is not a fragile hope. It is not a flicker in the wind. Faith is the anchor that holds the ship steady in storm. It is the unseen chain that ties you to the rock of truth, even when waves of fear crash upon you. Florence Scovel. Shin said faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. That is the anchor. Faith does not say, I will one day have it. Faith says, it is mine now, unseen but certain, and I rejoice in it already. So let us anchor your faith with these words. I walk in faith, not in fear. I am anchored in divine abundance, immovable and unshakable. What is mine by divine right is secure. No delay, no denial, no deception can take it from me. Take a breath and review with me within your own heart. In the morning, you declare wealth and command the day. When fear arises, you replace it instantly with truth. In every transaction, you bless money, going out and coming in. With the sacred sentence, you decree with power and watch law respond. Through the 7-day challenge, you establish discipline and rhythm. And now, with the faith anchor, you bind all together in certainty. This is no longer scattered practice. This is integration. It is not a momentary flame, but a steady fire that warms your life. Close your eyes and see again the temple within. 7 pillars gleam with golden light. You stand in the center, robed in strength. Around you, the words you have spoken float like living scrolls, circling in radiant patterns. Above, a voice resounds not from outside, but from within you. Well done, beloved. You have built your temple. You have set your pillars. Dwell here in peace, for this house cannot fall. Breathe deeply and receive this assurance. You are secure. You are provided for. You are loved. Let us speak together, sealing all we have learned. I am the temple of the living word. My faith is anchored. My supply is endless. My joy is full. I walk in abundance daily, for abundance is my divine right. I trust the law, I obey the law, and the law fulfills itself in me. I am whole. I am complete. I am prosperous now. Repeat them slowly. Let them echo. Let them settle into your bones. Beloved, as this journey of practice and integration draws to a close, know this: the work is not ending. It is only beginning. These words are not chains, but wings. They are not duties, but freedoms. Each day you rise, you will find your temple waiting. Each fear that comes will bow before truth. Each dollar you bless will multiply. Each sacred sentence will stir the law into action. Each 7-day cycle will lift you higher, and the anchor of faith will keep you steady through all seasons. So walk forward, not as one uncertain, but as one crowned. Walk forward, not as one hoping, but as one knowing. Walk forward, not as one seeking, but as one possessing. For abundance is your birthright. Supply is your inheritance. Joy is your atmosphere. Love is your law. Together, let us close with a decree that binds this entire practice into law. I stand in the temple of 7 pillars. My faith is anchored. My word is law. My life is abundant. From this day forth, I live in divine prosperity, and nothing can remove me from it. It is done. It is sealed. It is finished, and so it is. Breathe. Smile. Lift your head. You are ready.